You pull out the key to open the house door, you get inside, and you get down busy doing stuff. And a few hours later, you're wondering where is the house key. You swear you left it on the dining table, but it's not there. And after a long hunt, you finally discover where the key is. Yup, you left it on the door that you opened. Has this happened to you? Hello and welcome to another edition of Chai with Pi, our weekly series of videos where I share simple lessons and stories which can help each of us become just a little bit better. There was a Russian psychologist, her name was Zeigarnik, Bluma Zeigarnik. And Bluma and her friends went out for dinner to a restaurant one day and they had a great time. The highlight was not the food or the wine, but the service. The waiter was an amazing guy. He seemed to remember everything that everybody ordered. He didn't have a piece of paper or a pen on his hand, but as people rattled off what they wanted, he remembered every little detail. And then when he came back with the food and the drinks, he knew exactly where to place what. She was so impressed, and so were her friends. And after a hearty meal and a hefty tip, they left. When Zeigarnik was driving back, she suddenly remembered that she'd left her jacket behind in the restaurant. Oh damn, she thought. But then she knew that the friendly waiter would be around and would have retained her jacket and would be waiting for her so that he could give it back to her. So she drove back, reached the restaurant and went looking for the waiter. She found him and she told him that, "Hi, you remember I was here some time back?" And the waiter looked at her completely blank. He didn't seem to know that she had been at the restaurant or that they had been having a great time there. But she then told him about the missing jacket, and the jacket was found and they gave it back to Bluma. As Bluma drove back, she wondered, how come a waiter who remembered every part of our order just couldn't even recognize me and had forgotten all about me? That led to some research, and Zeigarnik studied the brain and discovered that this is what happens to all of us. Our brain tends to hit the delete button when a task is finished. Our short-term memory struggles for space, so it only retains unfinished tasks. The minute a task is complete, bang, out it goes. And that's what happened that day, and maybe that explains a lot of what happens to us. I'm sure you'll recall how you had to photocopy a document and you put the document into the photocopier and it spews out the copy and you pick up the copy and go, and a few days later you're wondering, where's the original? Yup, you left it in the photocopier. And it happens to us. You go to an ATM, you want to draw cash, you put in your card, you get the cash and you take the cash, count it and walk away. Where's the ATM card? You left it behind. Maybe the Zeigarnik effect can explain a lot of what happens to us, but hey, it's not only about a problem, we can all learn to use it. Think Netflix. How does every Netflix episode end? After those 27, 28 minutes, it ends at a place where you wonder, damn, what happens next? And that keeps you hooked. It makes sure you want to come back for the next episode. Leaving tasks unfinished is a great way to ensure that you will remember to come back and do more. Maybe it's a tip that can help us all. It's also a reminder of one of my favorite bits of communication advice. I once heard a wise man say that there are really two golden rules to great communication. One, never say everything at once. That's all in this week's edition of Chai with Pi. Until next time, I won't complete the rest of the sentence.